Far out in the rough seas of the Atlantic Ocean, there lies an island unlike any other, a place born of fire and sculpted by time. Its story begins in the shadows, hidden from the eyes of the world, until a fateful discovery changed the course of history. From whispers of paradise to a thriving center of trade and culture, this island has played host to explorers, visionaries, and empires. Its secrets are woven into its landscapes, its traditions, and its enduring legacy. Step into a saga of mystery, transformation, and wonder as we uncover the remarkable history of this extraordinary place. This is the incredible story of Madeira. Long before Madeira became known to humankind, the island rose from the depths of the Atlantic Ocean, forged by intense volcanic forces in a distant and ancient past. Part of the Macaronesia region, a collection of volcanic archipelagos including the Azores, Canary Islands, and Cape Verde, Madeira owes its dramatic landscapes to powerful magma flows that reshaped the ocean floor. These eruptions gave birth to Madeira and its sister islands, Porto Santo and the Desertas, creating a rugged paradise waiting to be discovered. This rugged volcanic terrain gave Madeira its dramatic topography: steep cliffs, deep valleys, and fertile plateaus, elements that would later shape both its ecosystem and its human history. For millennia, these islands lay untouched, blanketed in dense laurel forests known as laurisilva, a prehistoric woodland type now designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In ancient times, Madeira might have been shrouded in myth and whispered about among Mediterranean seafarers. The Greek and Roman authors reference the Fortunate Isles, or Elysium, a mythical paradise located in the westernmost reaches of the known world. Although no direct evidence connects these descriptions to Madeira, the island's remoteness and lush appearance fit the imagery of such paradisiacal lands. Early maps, such as the medieval Portolan charts, occasionally hinted at islands in the Atlantic, known as the Isles of the Blessed, which may have included Madeira. Some scholars speculate that ancient sailors, Phoenicians, Carthaginians, or even Romans, may have glimpsed Madeira's shores during exploratory ventures, though no conclusive archaeological evidence exists. Madeira remained a secret of nature, an unspoiled canvas awaiting the hands of discovery. The story of Madeira's discovery begins in the early 15th century, an age of daring maritime exploration led by Portugal under the guidance of Prince Henry the Navigator. Known as Infante Dom Henrique, Henry was driven by a thirst for knowledge, wealth, and the Christianization of distant lands. His ambitions birthed a wave of exploration that pushed Portuguese ships farther into uncharted waters. In 1419, Portuguese captains João Gonçalves Zarco and Tristão Vaz Teixeira, while on an expedition to explore the western African coast, encountered a violent storm. The tempest battered their ship, forcing them off course and into the Atlantic. After days of uncertainty, the sailors spotted land, a small barren island they named Porto Santo, or Holy Harbour, in gratitude for their survival. The following year, 1420, Zarco and Teixeira, along with Bartolomeo Perestrello, embarked on a mission to explore the region further. Sailing westward from Porto Santo, they encountered a larger, verdant island cloaked in dense forest. They christened this island Madeira, Portuguese for wood, reflecting the immense forestation that blanketed its hills and valleys. Historical accounts tell of the explorers' awe at Madeira's rugged beauty: sheer cliffs rising from the ocean, cascading waterfalls, and fertile valleys teeming with potential. The discovery of Madeira marked a turning point in maritime history. For the first time, Europeans had reached an uninhabited land in the Atlantic, setting the stage for further exploration and expansion into the wider Atlantic world. The Portuguese crown quickly recognized Madeira's potential as a strategic outpost and fertile colony. In 1425, King John I divided the archipelago into 3 captaincies. Zarco was granted governance over Funchal, southwestern Madeira, Teixeira received the northern regions, and Perestrello governed Porto Santo. These captaincies operated under a feudal system, with captains tasked with settling and developing their territories. The first settlers faced daunting challenges. Madeira's thick forests, steep terrain, and volcanic soil required immense effort to clear for agriculture. To expedite this process, settlers used fire to burn large swathes of forest, an act that inadvertently led to catastrophic wildfires lasting for months. These fires not only destroyed much of Madeira's native vegetation, but also contributed to soil erosion, a problem that persists today. Despite these hardships, the settlers persevered. They introduced crops such as wheat, vines, and sugarcane, relying on Madeira's volcanic soil for fertility. Livestock, including sheep and goats, were brought to graze on the island. Porto Santo, being more arid and less fertile, proved more challenging to develop, but it served as an important stepping stone in Madeira's colonization. The laurel forests that once dominated Madeira were gradually replaced with agricultural terraces and settlements, transforming the landscape. By the mid-15th century, the island began to flourish, paving the way for the sugarcane revolution. Madeira's fertile soil and subtropical climate proved ideal for growing sugarcane, a crop introduced by the Portuguese. By the mid-15th century, sugarcane cultivation dominated Madeira's economy, transforming the island into a bustling hub of trade and commerce. The production of sugar required intensive labor, and the Portuguese brought enslaved Africans to work the plantations. Madeira became one of Europe's first colonies to utilize African slave labor, setting a precedent for the transatlantic slave trade that would follow. The sugar industry attracted merchants from across Europe, particularly from Genoa, Flanders, and Venice. Madeira's sugar, often called white gold, became a sought-after commodity in European markets. Funchal, the island's main port, grew into a cosmopolitan trading center frequented by ships from England, the Mediterranean, and North Africa. An intriguing historical anecdote from this era involves Christopher Columbus, who arrived in Madeira during the height of the sugar boom. Columbus married Filipa Moniz Perestrello, the daughter of Bartolomeo Perestrello, and spent time living on Porto Santo. Some historians believe that Madeira's sugar trade influenced Columbus's later voyages to the Americas, as he witnessed the economic potential of plantation agriculture. By the late 16th century, however, Madeira's sugar industry faced decline due to competition from new plantations in the Americas. The island was forced to adapt, leading to the emergence of its next iconic export, Madeira wine. With the decline of the sugar industry in the late 16th century, Madeira faced the daunting task of reinventing its economy. The solution lay in the fertile volcanic soil and its long-standing tradition of viticulture. Although vineyards had existed since the early days of colonization, it was during this period that Madeira wine became a hallmark of the island's economy and culture. Madeira's winemakers initially focused on producing table wines, but a turning point came with the advent of fortified wine production. Fortification, achieved by adding grape spirit during fermentation, not only enhanced the wine's longevity, but also created its distinct, robust flavor profile. The method's effectiveness was discovered serendipitously when barrels of Madeira wine shipped to distant markets returned richer and more complex, having been transformed by the intense heat and motion of sea voyages. This phenomenon inspired the deliberate heating process called estufagem, in which wines were aged under controlled warmth to replicate tropical conditions. The wine quickly became a favorite among merchants and aristocrats. Its resilience to spoilage made it an ideal export for long-distance trade, and Madeira wine began to appear on the tables of Europe's elite and in the cellars of American colonists. Historical accounts reveal its prestigious status. Thomas Jefferson was known to import Madeira wine for special occasions, and it famously accompanied celebrations at the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Winemaking on Madeira expanded dramatically in response to its growing popularity. Wealthy families and merchants invested in vineyards, and Funchal became a center for wine production and export. Varietals such as Cercial, Verdelho, Boal, and Malmsey were cultivated, each offering unique flavor profiles that appealed to diverse palates. These wines reflected the island's rich terroir, with a distinct minerality imparted by its volcanic soil. Despite its success, the industry was not without challenges. Adverse weather occasionally damaged crops, and competition from other wine-producing regions demanded constant innovation. However, the skill and determination of Madeira's winemakers ensured the wine remained synonymous with quality and tradition. Madeira's strategic location in the Atlantic made it a focal point for European powers during the Napoleonic Wars. As Napoleon sought to expand French influence, the British, fearing that the French would seize Madeira to control Atlantic trade routes, preemptively occupied the island in 1807. This occupation, though temporary, left a lasting impact on Madeira. The British presence brought both stability and change. Under British administration, Madeira saw improvements in infrastructure, including roads and harbours, which facilitated trade and connectivity. The occupation also reinforced Madeira's wine industry, as British merchants exported vast quantities of Madeira wine to England and its colonies. Interestingly, Madeira became a haven for political exiles and refugees during this turbulent period. Prince Charles of Bourbon, a member of the Spanish royal family, sought refuge on the island, as did other European aristocrats fleeing the chaos of war. Madeira's relative isolation provided safety, and the island's tranquil beauty offered solace to those displaced by conflict. The British occupation also marked the beginning of Madeira's reputation as a health retreat. British officers stationed on the island were among the first to recognize the benefits of its mild climate, a discovery that would later shape Madeira's burgeoning tourism industry. By the mid-19th century, Madeira had earned a reputation as a health haven for European elites. Its mild, temperate climate and clean, sea-salted air made it an ideal destination for those seeking relief from respiratory ailments, particularly tuberculosis. Physicians across Europe began recommending Madeira to their wealthiest patients, prompting an influx of visitors from Britain, Germany, and beyond. The island's transformation into a health retreat sparked the construction of luxurious hotels and sanatoriums. Among these was the iconic Reed's Palace Hotel, which opened in 1891 and quickly became synonymous with elegance and exclusivity. Perched atop a cliff overlooking the Atlantic, Reed's Palace catered to royalty, aristocrats, and prominent figures of the era. Guests included the likes of Empress Elizabeth of Austria, Sisi, Winston Churchill, and George Bernard Shaw, who famously declared his love for Madeira's landscapes during his stay. Tourism during this period also inspired a wave of artistic and literary expression. Churchill, an avid painter, captured Madeira's dramatic scenery in watercolors, while writers and poets immortalized the island in prose and verse. Visitors marveled at Madeira's lush botanical gardens, verdant valleys, and intricate levadas, narrow irrigation channels that doubled as scenic walking paths. The influx of affluent tourists brought economic prosperity, but it also reshaped Madeira's social fabric. The construction of grand hotels and estates contrasted sharply with the modest livelihoods of the island's rural population. Nonetheless, the tourism boom provided employment opportunities and contributed to the modernization of Madeira's infrastructure. The 20th century was a transformative period for Madeira, marked by modernization, political change, and the growth of its tourism industry. The first half of the century was shaped by Portugal's authoritarian Estado Novo regime, under which Madeira experienced economic challenges and limited political autonomy. However, the island's fortunes began to change after World War II. In 1964, the opening of Madeira's airport revolutionized travel to the island, making it accessible to international visitors for the first time. This development coincided with a post-war tourism boom as European travelers sought sunny, exotic destinations. Madeira capitalized on its natural beauty, marketing itself as a paradise for nature lovers, adventure seekers, and wine connoisseurs. The Carnation Revolution of 1974, a peaceful coup that overthrew Portugal's dictatorship, ushered in a new era for Madeira. In 1976, the island was granted autonomous status, allowing it to manage its own affairs in areas such as education, health, and infrastructure. This newfound autonomy empowered Madeira to address its unique challenges and capitalize on its strengths. The late 20th century saw a wave of investment in Madeira's infrastructure. Roads, tunnels, and bridges connected previously isolated villages, while modern facilities enhanced the island's appeal to tourists. Festivals celebrating Madeira's culture, such as the Flower Festival and Wine Festival, became major attractions, drawing visitors from around the world. Today, Madeira stands as a testament to resilience and adaptation. The island's unique blend of natural beauty, rich history, and vibrant culture continues to captivate visitors from all walks of life. Modern Madeira is a dynamic mix of tradition and innovation, with agriculture, tourism, and renewable energy shaping its economy. One of the island's most iconic features is its network of levadas, which now serve as hiking trails that attract outdoor enthusiasts. These paths wind through lush forests, along cliff edges, and past waterfalls, offering breathtaking views of Madeira's diverse landscapes. The Laurisilva forest, a remnant of prehistoric woodland, remains a jewel of the island and a sanctuary for endemic species. Culturally, Madeira is celebrated for its lively festivals and artisanal crafts. The annual New Year's Eve fireworks display in Funchal is renowned as one of the most spectacular in the world, while the Madeira Carnival showcases the island's creativity and joie de vivre. Traditional crafts such as embroidery and wickerwork preserve Madeira's heritage and provide a livelihood for local artisans. Madeira's fame has also been bolstered by its most illustrious son, Cristiano Ronaldo, born in Funchal in 1985. The world-renowned footballer has brought attention to the island, inspiring a museum, a statue, and even an airport named in his honor. Despite the challenges of the modern era, including environmental pressures, Madeira continues to thrive. The island's commitment to sustainability, evident in its investments in renewable energy and conservation efforts, ensures that its natural treasures will be preserved for generations to come. From its volcanic birth to its central role in exploration, trade, and culture, the island has continually evolved while remaining true to its heritage. Its history, much like its wine, grows richer with time, a story that continues to inspire and captivate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more fascinating insights and untold history.